Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another mod overview for The Sims 4. So I have been pretty vocal lately about wanting more normal things that we can just use in everyday gameplay in The Sims 4, and this mod I think helps towards that. So this is called Craftable Pottery 2.0. Originally plasticbox made this mod, but then plasticbox has not been around for a long time. So, in their absence, Sigma1202 has updated it to be compatible with the latest updates. So you can see here that I put down a couple blobs of clay on a folding table, but they're not just any ordinary blobs of clay. No, these are actually the clobs of blay. Really? Why do I keep saying that? I'm just gonna leave that in. But, yeah, the clay blobs, they're actually cloned from the ones in-game. So you can see there's this pottery blob that's worth 25 simoleons. That's a small blob of clay that Sims can mold into pottery items. And then you can just place them down wherever. And that's how your Sims are able to craft some new decorative items. And you can see that it does increase the handiness skill as well, which does factor into what you can make. When Sims have no handiness skill at all, they can make the decorative plate, and then they can make a decorative cup starting at handiness level 2 and up, and then at level 3 and up, they can make vases, small and tall. So first, I do end up choosing to craft a small plate. And yeah, there goes Sovi making this, and I keep forgetting that this clay blob even exists in the game, so the animations felt kind of new watching this. It's just funny seeing this push and pull going on. So there are different factors that go into whether your sim succeeds or fails at making something. Because if they fail, then you'll just get this pile of scrap wood in their inventory. They can just do whatever you like. And then if you succeed, then the crafted product will instantly appear in your Sim's inventory. So high handiness skill, the creative and creative visionary traits, as well as the emotions of being focused and inspired, then the chance towards a successful outcome. And then if your sim has the clumsy trait and is stressed, angry, uncomfortable, sad, or dazed, then that will increase the chance of failure. Unfortunately, this time Sovi failed. If I remember correctly, I gave her 8 handiness skill, so it seems like the failure rate is quite high. I know she was fine, so she wasn't in a favorable emotion, but it still seems like in the end there is a decent amount of challenge. Don't expect your sim to succeed every single time. Also worth noting is that there are variations with the success rates depending on what you're crafting. For example, with the flower vases, the inspired emotion is more useful for them than they are for plates. But then on the other hand, the focused emotion is more useful for plates than the vases. And yeah, it does look a little weird that for a second, the clay blob just floats in the air as it fades into your inventory if you are successful in making something. So the notification does say that her efforts at molding the blob have been crowned with success and a new item has appeared in her inventory, and that is the handmade cup this time around. An interesting design choice with this mod is that you are not able to recolor these craftable objects once you've made them. And that's because the items are somewhat color coordinated, and so that there is a lot of challenge, so that if you want a matching set, you are going to have to make a lot of pottery. What's pretty funny is that the cups and the plates can be stacked. You may have seen a picture that I tweeted recently where I had what I called the Leaning Tower of Cups, because it seems like there's no limit as to how far up you can stack up cups. They just kept going and going as I kept making more and more. And since it starts also leaning more and more, the more cups you stack on one pile, it's just so funny looking to me. And you can see there are a pretty decent amount of variations of designs for each object. So for the plates, there are 20, with the cups there's 24, and then with the vases they have 20 each, 20 small and 20 tall. It's pretty nice that you can put flowers in these vases as well. The tall one can only fit one at a time, but then the shorter ones can fit two. So Sometimes it can look a little awkward depending on what flower you put in there, because I put some sage in the tall one. You can see, yeah, it's sticking out a little bit. It looks like it's floating. But thankfully, so far in my experience, that's the only one that does look awkward. The other ones look pretty okay. Skipping ahead a little bit, here's my favorite craft that I've seen so far, which is the green cup with white polka dots. And yep, you can even stack cups on top of plates, and even the other way around, though it looks a little strange. I wouldn't recommend it, but yeah, I think that setup looks pretty cute. You can really decorate your kitchens nicely with this, I think. Another design choice that's worth noting is the prices for these new crafts. So the plates are valued at 20 simoleons, the cups at 25, and both the small and tall flower vases are 35 simoleons. It's on purpose that these aren't worth a ton of simoleons, because they're designed to be more like a hobby rather than a money-making scheme. Though you could still probably sell these in a retail shop with Get to Work if you want to, but maybe not as your main attraction. Something that I found interesting on my own is that with the plates, you can put other small decorative things on top of them, not just the cups. So there's the wood pile just on top of the plate, but I also tried it with a My Sims trophy, and that worked too. I probably wouldn't place one on a plate anyways, but if you want to, you can do it. And now skipping ahead farther, you can see more stuff that has been made while Sylvie still continues pounding away at that clay. But there we go, you can see that I'm using the live drag function to just stack some of those cups on top of each other, and I've stacked a few plates too, so that is nice. In the kitchen, then you can just stack a bunch of plates together on a shelf or something like that, and you can just make your kitchens more realistic. And then it's even nicer knowing that your sim has made those instead of just getting them out of build mode, where to them it's like as if they came out of nowhere. You can also see more examples of flowers that I've placed in the vases, and I did use the starter packets that you can just buy from the planters in order to fill them. So if you do want to quickly test how it works out in your game, then I suggest doing that. One thing I do find a little strange about the vases though is that they are not live draggable, even though the cups are. So that's why I've had to go in and out of build mode a few times in order to move them around. And one really unfortunate exclusion in my opinion is that only teens and up can participate in this pottery activity. Children cannot do this, so it would be nice if maybe the mod could be updated to include them so that they have something new to do as well. One nice thing though is that there is some multitasking compatibility with the pottery, so you can sit down while making something, and you can also talk to other Sims while doing this too, though I think that can slow down the creation process a bit. And there you go, there's the Leaning Tower of Cups in full. Oh boy, it's so stupid, I love it. Yeah, here's a dumb idea. You could just create a whole bunch of these and then place them in a museum lot and just have that there as a really interesting abstract sort of art piece. If you're wondering if you need any packs installed to make this work properly, nope, you just need to have your game updated. One thing that is worth noting though is if you do have City Living or Jungle Adventure, you can use those sales tables that you can use for yard sales. So yeah, you can make a cute little yard sale with some items that you crafted yourself. But I'll wrap up this mod overview here, so I will leave a download link in the video description below. And overall, I do recommend getting this if you want more activities to do in your Sims game. And it has a surprising amount of depth too. I still wish there was a bit more to it, but it's still a nice pastime, I think, for Sims. And I feel like this is a feature that likely would be included if we were to get a free time-like expansion pack for The Sims 4. So feel free to let me know your thoughts on this mod in the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with my latest content from The Sims, Sonic the Hedgehog, and more. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!